In 2021, a quiet suburban town thought it had seen its worst tragedy, the brutal murder of a young woman inside her family home. But what followed wasn't just a police investigation. Neighbors claimed they heard screams long after her death. Detectives swore doors slammed on their own. And some believe the killer never left because the town says they still see her walking at night. The case began in October 2021 in the small town of Maplewood, Ohio, a town that rarely made national headlines. That changed when police responded to a 911 call that would forever scar the community. The victim was 23-year-old Emily Carter, a college student known for volunteering at the local shelter. On the night of October 14th, Emily was found lifeless in her bedroom. The scene was brutal, but what shocked detectives wasn't just the crime, it was the unexplainable details around it. Police reports described overturned furniture, blood spatter across the walls, and yet no signs of forced entry. Emily's door had been locked from the inside. The windows bolted shut. To many, it looked like an impossible crime. Neighbors were quick to whisper. Some said they heard Emily's screams echoing down the street hours after the time of death. Others swore they saw a figure standing in her bedroom window, even as police worked inside. One officer, whose name was kept out of the press, later admitted off record, "We heard footsteps upstairs." Heavy footsteps, but when we rushed up, no one was there. The rooms were empty, and yet the footsteps continued for hours. Detectives initially suspected an intruder, maybe a stalker, but with no signs of forced entry, attention shifted to Emily's circle friends, classmates, even her boyfriend Daniel. Daniel insisted he was miles away, backed by security footage at a late-night diner. Police cleared him quickly, but the paranormal whispers grew louder. People claimed they saw Emily walking down Maplewood Road days after the funeral. Then came the chilling CCTV footage. A neighbor's camera caught a shadowy figure moving past Emily's home late at night. When enhanced, the outline eerily resembled her. Same hair, same clothes she was last seen wearing, but Emily was already dead. Medical examiners ruled Emily's death as homicide, multiple stab wounds. But one disturbing note was buried in the report. No defensive wounds. It was as if she never even fought back. Some believed Emily had been attacked by something, not human. That's when rumors of the Maplewood shadows began. Locals said it wasn't the first time people vanished or died mysteriously in that neighborhood. Digging into old records, investigators found at least 3 unsolved deaths in the same area dating back to 1998. All violent, all inside locked homes, and every single time neighbors reported footsteps, shadows, and whispers in the night. Experts called it a locked room mystery. How could a killer enter, commit the crime, and leave without breaking a single lock or window? Unless there was never a human killer to begin with. In early 2022, a local paranormal group entered Emily's home with recording devices. What they captured stunned everyone. On audio, a faint female voice could be heard whispering, "It wasn't me." Police denied these claims, calling in distractions from the real investigation, but many officers quietly admitted they refused to enter the house after dark. One said you could feel someone breathing down your neck, even when you were alone. Emily's parents reported even stranger occurrences, doors unlocking themselves, lights flickering, Emily's phone disconnected after her death lighting up with missed calls at 3 a.m. Perhaps the most terrifying piece of evidence? Weeks after the murder, a 911 call came from Emily's cell phone. Dispatchers answered only to hear silence, then faintly a woman crying. When police traced the call, it came from inside the Carter residence while the phone was still sealed in an evidence locker. The town spiraled into fear. Parents forbade children from walking near the Carter home. Teenagers dared each other to step onto the porch at night. Some claimed those who did reported hearing a woman whisper their name. In mid-2022, detectives reopened parts of the case, but every lead ended cold. There was no DNA, no fingerprints, no forced entry. Just Emily's life, taken in silence in a room no one could have entered. Yet the sightings grew. Drivers reported swerving to avoid a woman walking in the road only for her to vanish. A jogger claimed he saw Emily's figure by the cemetery, her eyes black, her face pale. Maplewood became a ghost town after dark. Businesses closed earlier. Police patrols doubled. Residents began moving away. What was once a peaceful town was now living in fear of something unseen. To this day, theories split the community. Some insist Emily was murdered by a skilled human predator who's still out there. Others believe Maplewood is cursed and that Emily's spirit never left. Paranormal experts argue the pattern of locked room deaths, unexplained sounds, and post-mortem sightings point to what they call a residual haunting, a spirit reliving its trauma over and over again. True crime analysts disagree. They suggest Emily's murder could have been staged to look paranormal by a meticulous killer who knew how to cover his tracks. Someone possibly connected to the earlier Maplewood deaths. 3 years later, the case remains unsolved. Emily's killer or ghost has never been identified. Her house still stands, boarded up, but neighbors swear lights turn on at night. As of early 2024, the Maplewood Police Department lists Emily Carter's death as an active unsolved homicide. But internally, officers admit no new leads have emerged. What's left is only fear and unanswered questions. In March 2024, a Maplewood resident posted on social media claiming she saw Emily's figure again, same clothes, same face, staring at her through a window. The post went viral, reigniting interest in the case. So what really happened that night in 2021? Was Emily Carter killed by a flesh and blood murderer who's still roaming free? Or is Maplewood the site of something darker, something beyond human comprehension? Perhaps the scariest part is not whether it was a killer or a ghost, but the possibility that it was both. That evil doesn't end with death, it lingers, waiting for the next victim. What do you think? Was this a human crime, a restless spirit, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want more chilling stories where true crime meets the paranormal, make sure you subscribe to Eerie Evidence, because some cases refuse to stay buried.